Hello and welcome to the inaugural Rules School Open. And where better to play this event than at the home of golf, St Andrews, Scotland. This week we are hosted by the stunning Duke's Golf Course overlooking the historic town where today junior golfers from all over the world will get the chance to learn about the rules of golf as well as witnessing some of the most unique situations this game has seen. I'm John Johnson, and it's a pleasure to be broadcasting this championship to millions around the world. Joining me in the studio today to ensure we leave this broadcast with more than just great memories is Claire Hargan of the R&A Rules team. Claire, welcome aboard.
Well, thanks, John. It's great to be here. I'm excited to see what sort of skills our feature group have got, and it'll be interesting to see if they actually know anything about the rules of golf.
Now for the moment you've all been waiting for. The feature group is about to get underway. Victoria Watts of England has earned her place in the championship purely because she works at the R&A and knows the right people. And joining her is George Harper Jr. of New Zealand, truly breathtaking part of the world, but I guess we got to see if his golf game can match it. Okay, so it's not far away now. As you can see, players warming up, and the starter looking a little bit confused and concerned about the timings.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next group on the tee will be George Harper Jr. and Victoria Watts.
Give them a nice round of applause as, well, I guess this is where the nerves really start kicking in, Claire.
Yeah, it looks like Victoria's looking pretty relaxed. Not sure about George in the background there. He's looking a bit tetchy there.
We did see him chipping on the putting green before, which raises some serious alarm bells early as...
Yeah, I'm not sure the greenkeeper's going to be too pleased to have seen George completely ignoring their no chipping signs there. I think this guy could be a challenge for the referees out there today.
Okay, so time to tee off is just 1 minute away.
So we can see Victoria's marking our golf ball here. Always a good idea to put your own identification mark on your ball. Yeah, and I think we also heard the starter reminding Victoria to count her golf clubs. It's always a good idea to check you've no more than 14 clubs in your bag before you tee off.
What's going on here? He's late for his tee time. He's got 30 seconds and he's having a photo. Oh, wow. Obviously shows he doesn't have many fans, but he's soaking it up.
Well, he is cutting it a bit fine here, John. If he isn't at the tee and ready to play at his tee time, he'll be getting the general penalty.
Look at that super fan. She really looks flustered. Like, to meet her hero must be such a big occasion for that young lassie. I think you call them lassies over here in Scotland, but not long now to his tee time. He's really pushed the boundaries there.
Yeah, I mean, if he'd missed his tee time here, he's just made it, but if he'd missed his time, as it's a stroke play competition, he'd get a 2-stroke penalty. And if it had been match play, he'd have lost this hole.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the tee from New Zealand, George Harper Jr.
So he can play his ball from anywhere inside the teeing area, and the teeing area is 2 club lengths deep from the front edge of the tee markers. And we can see he's standing outside the teeing area to play the ball, which that's absolutely fine too. As I said, the teeing area is 2 club lengths deep from the front edge of the tee markers. And when we talk about club lengths in the rules, we always mean the longest club in your bag except for a putter. Some people have some pretty long putters, so we exclude those from that. So for most people, club lengths will be driver. The important thing is that at least part of the ball is inside the teeing area or overhanging the teeing area. If you played from outside the teeing area, that would be a big problem. In stroke play, you get a 2-stroke penalty, and you must correct before you tee off on the next hole.
Okay, well, there we have it as Victoria Watts now walks up to the tee. Wow, she's a consistent player. She's a true talent, and she'll be looking forward to this opportunity. George.
Now, we've seen both the players playing off tees here, but you can always play it from the ground when hitting it from the tee if you really want to.
As we can see, George is a little bit of a shambles at the moment as they get underway. But there we have it. The feature group is off and running. This is a fantastic occasion for these two, but not only these two, but everyone involved in this championship.
Well, as we saw there, John, you must start at, not before or after your starting time.
We certainly did see that, and it was a nerve-wracking timings there from George.
Well, as we saw, you can stand outside the teeing area to play your ball from inside it, and you can play from a tee in the ground or from the ground itself.
All right, so it's great to be underway here at the Rules School Open. We'll be right back with some more live action. Okay, once again, George has found himself in a bucket load of trouble here, Claire, and rightfully so, looks pretty disappointed with his lie.
Well, John, he's found himself on a man-made path, so that means he's actually going to be allowed to get free relief from it if he wants.
Okay.
Oh, but I'm not sure he's going to like where he has to take his relief, but he's picked it up now.
Looks awfully casual and sloppy right there. That's oh, hello! What have we got here? Referee steps on in.
Yeah, he's not got that right.
From the path, but it's the nearest point of relief, not the nicest.
Okay, so she's saying the nearest point, not the nicest, Claire.
That's right, John.
So, firstly, we want to figure out, is that the club you're going to use to play the shot?
It is, yes.
She's going to help him find his nearest point of complete relief here. So that'll be the point where he's no longer standing on the path, where the ball's no longer on the path, and where the path's no longer going to interfere with the area of his intended swing.
Well, I'll tell you what, folks, it looks juicy in there. He's not going to like this, but does he get a club length here, Claire?
Yeah, so now he's got his reference point. He needs to drop within 1 club length of that point, no nearer the hole. But he needs to make sure he drops on a point where the ball's no longer going to have interference from that path.
Okay, cool.
And then you just want to do a knee-high drop anywhere in this area here.
All right. That in front of me there.
Perfect. Yep,
Voila.
ball's in play.
All right.
Great.
Well, not too bad.
Okay, so while he's sorting out the rest of his dropping process, let's catch up with Connor on course, who earlier in the week took us through the best practice for taking relief here.
So as you can see, we've had a few drops of rain here today, but that's not the only drops you may encounter on a golf course. So my ball has actually come to rest in a sprinkler head, but luckily the rules allow you to get free relief from that and you don't have to play it as it lies. So what I've done here, this first tee, I've measured out my nearest point of complete relief, which is the nearest point to where the ball is, where that sprinkler head's no longer in my way. So it's no longer in the way for the ball, where I'm going to be standing, or for my swing. Now once I've measured that nearest point of complete relief, I then have 1 club length which forms my relief area. And the club length is the longest club in the bag, which for me is my driver. So I've got this 1 club length no near the hole in which I can drop the ball. And I've marked it out with these tees here. So now I can lift the ball, I can clean that ball, that's fine. And I'm now into dropping it. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to drop the ball from knee height, and we're going to make sure it lands in the relief area and stays in the relief area. But what do you do if it goes outside? Well, you must drop the ball again. And again, I can choose anywhere that I wish to drop it, but I'm going to drop it in here this time. So from the knee, and it's gone outside again. But after dropping it twice, and I have to place the ball back where it last struck the ground after dropping it the second time, which was in around about there. Now that ball's back in play, and it's not the nicest day for golf, so I'm not going to hit that shot, but the duck's having fun. Back to you guys in the studio.
Well, Connor, nice to get the ducks a mention there as we cut back live, and it looks like that extra club length was rather handy.
Well, that's right, John. Sometimes knowing the rules really can help you get out of some sticky situations.
Oh, he has a big old-fashioned hack at that. And it's a fantastic shot in there.
Good.
Big old stake.
Believe it or not, he played a good one.
Cool.
And as we look through, I guess, a few features of that hole, plenty to talk about, Claire.
Yeah, that's right. As we saw, you can always take free relief when you've got something like an immovable obstruction, like a cart path that interferes with the lie of your ball, area of your intended stance or swing.
And I guess finding the nearest point of complete relief, not the nicest, is a key for the folks
Absolutely, John. It's also important to know that this kind of relief's available not just from abnormal course conditions such as cart paths, but it's also available from the likes of animal holes, ground under repair, and any temporary water, so any rainwater that we've got that's made puddles and the like.
Well, we hear people talking about the spirit of the game all the time, Claire, and can you tell me a little bit more about what that actually means?
Well, John, an important part of playing the game of golf is playing in the right way. Most of the time you're out there playing without referees on the course, so you're expected to know, expected to follow the rules, to apply your own penalties and just generally be honest in all aspects of your play.
Well, it's certainly clear that this young man has pushed those boundaries all day, and, well, wait, that's another... Whoa! Settle down here, son. Okay. What on earth is he doing here? Is he gonna...
George.
Yeah.
No.
Rightfully so. Certainly needs to rake that bunker.
Yeah, absolutely. Another part of spirit of the game is taking good care of the course. So you're expected to rake bunkers, repair divots, not cause unnecessary damage to the course. So as we saw, the referees just reminded George he really needs to rake or smooth the bunker after he's played from it.
Yeah, well, we're going to go through a few of his highlights from earlier today, and here's another one. A pretty nice tee shot, but then, oh, wow, that is a big stake. A big chunk of dirt there, and oh, wow! No, he didn't. That is a Happy Gilmore club throw. Wow-wee.
George. No.
Well, as we said, John, you should repair divots and not cause unnecessary damage to the course. And, well, throwing clubs, that's certainly not in the spirit of the game.
That is so far off where we're wanting to be in this game. And, well, we've actually got a slow-mo breakdown of this. And to be fair, his technique's actually quite good, that low arm position, and really launches that club through the air beautifully. But I want to make it very clear that that is not acceptable in the game of golf, and rightfully so. He's getting punished in the gorse. That one could be quite tough to get out later on today, and oh no.
Hey, how are you? George. No.
This is just an absolute comedy of errors from the young Kiwi.
Well, you need to be considerate to others. You can't be going distracting them while they're playing.
I do not think he realizes that this has been broadcast to millions of viewers around the world, because he seems to be having an absolute shocker out there. All right. Pretty open fairway here, and what are the odds?
George.
Well, you must look out for the safety of others on the course, so at least George knows he has to shout a warning of 4 when there's a risk his ball might hit someone.
So refreshing to see the young man get one thing right, and, well, there's plenty to learn from what we just saw, isn't that right?
Absolutely. As we saw, you need to take good care of the course. You need to show consideration for others and just generally be honest in all aspects of your play. And don't forget to shout that warning of 4 if your ball's going to hit someone else.
It looks as though that's something George will be quite used to with the form we have seen today. Okay, as we can see here, naturally trying to find George's tee shot, which has gone nowhere near the green. Now, if there's one thing people are taking away from Rule School today, is that this guy sucks at golf.
Well, he's not got the best lie here, John. Looks like he could get a bit of a flyer out of this lie.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of danger, and it looks like he's going to rip into this one. Certainly has. Oh! Did you hear trees there? Did I hear?
Yeah, that ball's flown straight out of bounds over that wall.
I don't think I've ever seen that here at the Jukes. That's an absolute shocker, as he just said himself there.
Where are you going? Well, I've just cleared the stone wall, so I was going to drop one from over there. Okay, so your ball's gone out of bounds, so your only option is actually to play again from where you last played from.
Oh no.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, somewhere I think it was here with this divot here.
Okay. Yep. So now, if you want, put a mark down there, put a tee down,
Yeah.
and then you have a club length again in which to drop the ball no nearer the hole.
Right.
Okay.
Tough gig, eh?
So if you get your driver.
Seems like the referees out there today have got their work cut out for them, and well, I guess that's the only time George's driver looks, I guess, somewhat normal in his hand, because he certainly can't play it off the tee, but he's getting used to using it for relief.
Another nice knee-high drop coming up here. And that ball's back in play.
Oh
It's a
dear.
tough break, but your ball's in play.
Oh dear.
As we look at this lie, oh dear. Okay, so while we see his lie is an absolute shocker, let's have a look at this diagram to, I guess, sum it up a lot easier for our viewers out there at the school.
Thanks, John. Yeah, so as we saw, if your ball's lost or if it's out of bounds, as was the case with George, your only option is to play again. So you go back to where you played your last shot from, and you can drop within one club length of that point, no nearer the hole.
Okay, so there you have it, guys. And as we come back to live moments here, Claire, how much is he playing now?
Okay, well, so he's hit his second shot out of bounds. He has a one-stroke penalty, so this is going to be his fourth stroke.
I don't know about you, Claire. I don't like to see any of this at all, so I believe we're just going to take this live coverage elsewhere, because that hole is a write-off. Okay, we're back. Victoria Watts, George Harper group here on the tee. As you can see, the sun is shining. It's a beautiful day here in St Andrews, Scotland. So nice to be here at the home of golf, and here we go. Another one to launch off the tee.
Oh wow.
Ah,
I think I'm probably going to have to hit a provisional there.
yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Provisional tailor-made one.
Well,
Cool.
at least it looks like he knows what he's doing here, John. Any time you think your ball might be lost outside a penalty area or out of bounds, it's always a good idea to play a provisional. That means if he doesn't find his original ball, or if it is out of bounds, then he doesn't have to come all the way back and play another one. Most important thing is you must announce that you're playing a provisional ball, like we saw George do there. If he hadn't announced he was playing the provisional, then the second ball would automatically become the ball in play, even if he'd found the first one in bounds.
That's exactly right. We've seen that in a women's open in the past at Carnoustie. Dramatic scenes there as George returns back to the bush, and wow, it doesn't look good in there.
So he's got 3 minutes to find his ball here from when he started to look for it.
Okay.
If he does find it, because the second ball played was a provisional, he must continue with the first ball.
Well, he's spending plenty of time in the trees today, and I guess since we're at Rules School, I was just wondering, Claire, do you know what a tree's favourite subject at school is?
I do not, John.
Geometry.
Whoa. Well, it looks like George's search is going to be just as unsuccessful as your joke there, John.
Oh, wow, Claire.
Okay.
Oh, come on, no media. Give me a break.
So as he hasn't found his first ball within 3 minutes, it's considered lost and he has to continue with the provisional ball.
Okay, so how many shots is he playing from this location?
Well, that was his first shot that he lost. He has one penalty stroke for the stroke and distance penalty. So the second ball played from the tee was his third, and this is now shot number 4. This for par.
Yep, and it certainly has not gone in the hole, but it looked like an alright shot for George.
Well, he's on the green for once at least.
Yeah, that's very nice. Okay, Plenty to take away from that adventurous haul. I know I haven't learned too much about geometry, but what are the other things everyone needs to learn?
Well, John, if your ball is lost or out of bounds, your only option is to play again under penalty of stroke and distance. If you do think your ball might be lost outside a penalty area or out of bounds, you should always play a provisional ball.
Yes, and he did announce that provisional ball really well, didn't he? And naturally, as we saw there as well, you have 3 minutes to find your ball from when you start to look for it. Well, it's very clear that I'm far into this part of the world, a beautiful part of the world, but I'll tell you what, George is certainly far into being on a green in regulation.
That's right, John, but looks like he knows what he's doing here, which is good. The putting green's a specially prepared area for playing the ball along the ground, so there's certain things you can do on the putting green that you can't do elsewhere.
Looks like he's having to remove a small sandcastle.
That's right. Well, the first thing we saw him do was he marked and he lifted his ball and he cleaned it. So that's something you can always do on a putting green, worth knowing.
Fantastic stuff, and once he's jumped those hurdles, there's now an even bigger one in trying to claim his first birdie of the day. Bet you he misses. Yep. Oh dear, a little bit short, but okay. Look, he's got that for par, and that's an opportunity for the young man. There's Victoria Watts.
Lovely.
That's good.
That's good.
Thank you.
So, let's break this one down, Claire. Plenty going on.
That's right, John. So we saw that George preparing ball marks and pitch marks on the putting green. You can always do that, and you can repair any shoe damage too if there was any. He's also removed loose impediments like the leaves. You can remove any sand and loose soil on the putting green. That's something you cannot do elsewhere on the course. But he's not allowed to repair any natural damage to the green. For example, if there's any bare areas, any weeds and the like.
Okay, so it looks to me like he's done everything by the book, and, well, I don't know how he's got to the position, but meanwhile, while you guys are away, he has not 1, 2, but 3 putted so far. So this is for a 4 putt.
Well, it's interesting, John, that both Victoria and George are choosing to putt with a flagstick in the hole most of the time today. There's no problem with that, but if they did want to putt with the flagstick out the hole, or if they wanted to have someone hold the flagstick and remove it before the ball gets to the hole, they have that choice as well.
As we look back at what happened while we were away, and it is quite unbelievable, the pain, the anguish continues for George Harper Jr., who cannot seem to get it right. Plenty to learn, plenty to take in, but he did everything but play golf well on this hole, Claire.
Well, that's right. As we saw, you can always mark, lift and clean your ball on the putting green. You can repair ball marks, spike marks. You can remove sand and loose soil. But as we said, you cannot repair any natural imperfections. Well, it's great to see George showing us exactly what you should do to get round the course in good time here, John. He was already at his ball and getting ready to play while Victoria was preparing for her shot. He's already checked his yardage. Now he's putting on his glove. And now he's taking his club out of the bag. He's getting ready to play.
Great time management. Victoria, nice little punch shot up there.
Nice one.
Oh.
She's playing well, Dave. Okay, now on to Harper Jr. Stunning day. Look at that weather. How about that, eh? Scotland, you little beauty.
Well, the good thing is you should normally be able to play your shot in no more than 40 seconds from when you're able to play without distraction. And as we can see, it took just 24 seconds there, so that's ideal.
Yeah, well, that certainly was not the case earlier today. He seems to have learned his lesson, so let's go back a chapter and look at what happened earlier today. And while poor old Victoria Watts was witnessing some of the worst stuff we have seen on a golf course. Certainly, George there is taking a lot of interest in Victoria's shot when he should probably be lining up his own.
Oh, wow. Lovely shot.
That'll do.
Yeah, that'll be hard to top.
As we said earlier, he needs to get ready to play while the other player's playing her shot.
What are the odds that his shoelaces come undone right before his stroke?
Right.
Yes, 200.
Oh, is it 200, is
Yeah.
it? Fantastic.
Is he trying to do his yardages? Oh dear, and feet, yards, you name it, he's trying it. He is in what I like to call no man's land. Absolutely zero clue. And while this is, we've already hit that 30-second mark clear, this is quite quickly spiraling out of control.
Good day for it.
Yes.
Beautiful day.
I don't think in my life have I seen someone crack out a cup of tea live on the course.
You'll never believe it, but I missed breakfast this morning. I was in such a rush to get to my tea time.
Is that a general conversation as well, and a 5-course meal? That is disgusting to watch, and at least eat with your mouth closed, young man. Your mother will be so disappointed to see that right now, and oh well. Yep, fair enough, Victoria. You get comfortable because this young man is really taking his fair dues.
Yep.
Well, the other thing is that when we talk about the spirit of the game, we always say it's important to show consideration for others in the course, and playing at a good pace, that's part of that.
Look, I do. Oh, well, Victoria, I don't think I've seen that on a golf course either. Full sleep mode, but to be fair to George, if you've cracked a cookie or a cracker, you do need to wash it down. It is very lucky he had his cup of tea there, but I digress. Finally, once he's taken his vest off, but I think over there in Scotland you call that a gilet? A gilet?
Gilet in Scotland.
Gilet. We're finally ready. And we're away.
It looks like the referee's had his eye on George here, and he's going to have a word with him.
Get rid of him.
I'm not surprised.
George.
Hey!
Yeah, you're having fun.
Beautiful day
You
for
might
it.
have noticed you've lost quite a bit of time on the group in front. You've lost over 2 holes here. And no, thank you. And you're really just taking far too long to play that shot.
Okay.
You should really try and be ready when Victoria's playing her shot. Start getting your glove on, have your yardage ready, and then be ready to play once she's played.
Okay.
If you could try and speed things up
You're
a little
damn
bit,
right
that'd
he
be
should
great.
be ready. All the way
and
from
enjoy
New
the
Zealand.
rest
Is
of the
he on island time?
Thank you very much. My
Yeah,
apologies.
you should be
My
sorry,
apologies.
young man. Goodness gracious me. Well, I'll tell you what. If we haven't learned anything from that we are not doing our jobs clear.
Absolutely, John. As we saw, we really need to be playing at a good pace throughout the round. The players need to be ready to play when it's their turn, and take no more than 40 seconds when you're able to play without distractions.
Well, hopefully our international worldwide broadcast won't run out of time because of George's slow play, and we'll continue the coverage right after this short break. And you guessed it, that ball is wet. What have we got here? George is in yet another hazard. And yep, he's looking, what? Is he going to play that clear?
Well, he certainly could if he really wanted to. Is he going to go all Jean van der Velde on us?
It looks like it. Oh no. His golfing brain switched off a long time ago. We certainly know that. Oh dear.
Well, as I said, he can play from there if he really wants to. And there's a few stones and things in there. If he wanted to move any loose impediments like stones and the like, he could do that.
Really starting to sound like an old man as he gets his shoes off and yep, that's a pretty muddy scenario there.
Well, and the other thing is, if he does decide to hit it, if he touches the water on his backswing, there's not going to be any problem with that either.
It looks like he needs some sort of
Help!
He's called for help. Waving down a referee for the 756th time
Sludgy.
today.
He's certainly got himself into a few problems today, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think he needs help both on and off the course, this guy.
How can I help?
Well, I found myself in a little bit of a muddy situation.
Leave the jokes to me, young man. That's an absolute
Just
shocker.
wondering what my best options are, to be honest.
Let's tune in and see what the
problem.
referee has
So
to
if
say.
you don't want to play the ball where it is, you have 3 options,
Right.
all for a penalty of 1 stroke.
Yes.
So the first option is to go back and play from where you last played.
Right.
Second option is to take back on the line relief. So you keep in line the point of entry and the flag.
So
and
I
you
can
can go
go
back as far as you like.
As far as I like.
Yeah.
Just any sort of.
Any length, just as long as you keep those 2
Looks like
reference
he's
points
learning and
go
taking
back.
things in.
Okay.
And then your third option, you can take
What?
2 club lengths from
Whoa! Is that Usain Bolt? Yes. Oh dear, what is going on? Oh, he's done a hamstring. Oh no, he's done it.
What about here?
If it's in line,
How about here?
you have a third option.
Great point from the referee, but wow, if I...
Maybe he thinks 250 yards is a good yardage for him. Who knows, John?
I can't hear you. Did you say 3?
Yes,
Well, why did you say that before I went for a run?
I did. So you had a third option.
Oh, there's a third option.
Yes.
Okay.
So all you need to do is take the point of entry. It came into the penalty area,
Yep.
and you have 2 club lengths from there, no nearer to the hole.
Okay. So.
So all you need to
We'll-
do is keep the 2 stakes in line for the
Okay.
edge.
Yep.
So do you think it came in about there?
And about here, yeah.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, so the referee's just helping him find the point where the ball last crossed the edge of the penalty area here. So that's the point where it crossed between the 2 stakes.
Now, 2 club
Then
lengths from
two
here.
driver or club lengths, no nearer to the hole.
Okay. So 1, 2.
Perfect.
And this is the
Then
only
it's just
time
a
when
knee
you're
high
taking
drop
lateral
in that
relief,
area.
it's the only time you get a 2 club length relief area.
Perfect.
Okay,
back in
well,
play.
there has been plenty going on as per usual, but let's go to a diagram because I think we need to summarize this a lot easier for our viewers at home.
Thanks, John. Well, when it comes to penalty areas, there's 2 types. There's red and there's yellow. And the colour basically determines what your relief options are. So for yellow penalty areas, there's 2 options. You can either go back to where you last played from and drop within a club length of that point, or you can go back in the line, keeping the point where the ball last crossed into the penalty area between you and the pin. But when it comes to red penalty area, there's the same 2 options and then an additional third option. And that third option is the one that we saw George taking here. So he can drop within 2 club lengths of where the ball last crossed into the penalty area, no nearer the hole.
Do you think a fourth option for this young man would be to potentially find a fairway of some description? Because it looks like it's been an adventurous day for the young gent.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's any options that are good options for George the way he's playing today.
That's absolutely right. As we return back to the live action, well, I don't think I've seen many golfers playing bare feet before on the course. He looks to be pretty satisfied with that shot and waving to the non-existent crowd, and it's absolutely fantastic not to have a crowd here because they would be witnessing some horrid golf from George. But what's not horrid is the facts we are learning from these key takeaways. Some great stuff here, A, B, or C. You can play again from where you first hit it. You can drop it back on the line, or clear. You can take 2 club lengths relief.
Well done, John. I'm impressed. It seems like even you're learning something about the rules today.
Well, thank you very much, Claire. I appreciate the appreciation. It's truly, truly fantastic to be learning along the way. Okay, now George has found himself in a fairway bunker. Looks like his ball has got plenty going on as he lines it up. I'm not sure my eyesight is very good. Oh, wow.
Well, the good thing is there's no problems with him moving that old divot or with moving the stone like he did there.
Okay.
He's making a choice between a couple of clubs here.
Looks like a reasonably tricky shot, really, with or without those, Oh! What club's this one, Claire?
Not quite a sandwich, I don't think, is it?
Oh, Siver me
You
timbers.
certainly can't be doing that. You cannot touch the sand in the bunker for the purpose of testing it.
Oh, wow, this guy is really taking the mickey today. This is simply not good enough.
Well, he's going to find himself with a general penalty for testing the sand before playing from the bunker.
So St Andrews is famed not only for his golf courses, but also for his beaches. And as you can see here, I'm in some different kind of sand. So when it comes to bunkers, there's some things that you can do, but there's some things that you're not allowed to do. So first of all, what can you do? Well, when you're in a bunker, you can remove loose impediments. So things like twigs, stones, and leaves. And they can get away. You just have to make sure you don't cause the ball to move. You can also remove movable obstructions. So things that are man-made, like the towel and the bottle. You can also casually lean on your club if you're waiting to play, but make sure you don't test the condition of the bunker. So now we move on to what can't you do? What are you not allowed to do in a bunker? Well, you're not allowed to test the condition. You're not allowed to dig the club in and see how soft the sand is or how hard the sand is. So you could do it with a club or even with your finger. You're not allowed to do that. When it comes to playing the ball, you've got to be careful around the ball. You can't touch the sand immediately in front of the ball, immediately behind the ball, or on the backswing for a shot. The other thing you can't do is take practice swings in the bunker. So you can't come in and try and get a feel for how that shot is going to be. But when it comes to playing the ball, that is how you get out of the bunker. Back to you guys in the studio.
Well, thank you so kindly, Connor, on course. All day, he's been keeping us up to date on the pulse. Sensational stuff as George hacks one out of the bunker yet again. Fantastic stuff.
Lucky I like sand.
Heard it there first. He's seen plenty of sand. And I've seen plenty of bad golf, but the bunker do's and don'ts.
Well, John, I think Connor summarised everything pretty nicely for us there.
That's exactly right, Claire. As this beautiful, soothing golf music plays in the background, all I can see and all I can think about is my very own do's and don'ts. And from what I took of that video, do not eat the sand because it looks disgusting. We're back live, and as you can see, a camera crew are getting right in there, and there's plenty going on in there. I'll give you one guess to who's in the bushes, and you guessed it. Ow, 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 ow. Found it. Oh my.
Well, looks like he might have found his ball, but he can't seriously be thinking about playing it from there.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Claire. I'm not gonna lie to you one bit. I've seen him do stupider things today. That's for damn sure.
Gonna need some help. Somebody
He's
help.
calling for help. Looks like he'll need
Can't
help
play
with
this.
a pair of tweezers as well. A lot of splinters.
Oh, hi George. Hey. How can I help you?
Once again, I'm in a bit of trouble.
Okay.
I I don't think I can play this ball at the moment. It's in a pretty bad spot.
Okay.
What are my options?
Okay, well, for unplayable, you've got 3 options under penalty of 1 shot. So you can go back again to where you last played from.
Right.
You can go back on the line, so taking a line between the ball and the flag, and again you can go back as far as you want on that line.
Right.
Or you can take 2 club lengths no nearer the hole.
Okay. Well, should I try that first?
George really looks like a person that struggles to take information in.
Yeah, so if you get your driver, and I would take the head cover off.
Put my tee in here, yeah.
Yep.
So Connor's just getting him to measure out 2 club lengths from where his ball lies in the bush here. This is his lateral 2 club length
Still
relief
getting pretty
option.
bad, isn't it?
Yeah, if you well, we could. If
But
you
I'm
measure
not
it out
sure this
fully,
is going to
we'll
get
see
him out to the edge
where
of the
it does
bush
get
here.
to. So you're not going to get all the way out.
Yeah, I don't think I can play it from here, so I
Okay.
might take the
Take the back on the line.
back on the line. Would be
Okay,
great.
no problem.
What do we do?
So from here, we've got the line of the flag and where your ball was, and just basically taking a line as far back as you want.
All right.
Okay.
Fantastic.
So when it comes to unplayable ball, as we saw, there's 3 options. The player can always go back and play again from where he last played and drop within 1 club length of that point. He can go back on the line, which is the option that we took, option B, or he could drop within 2 club lengths of where the ball lay in the bush, that's option C.
Fantastic to talk through those options, and even better to see George finally back in play. Looks like quite the tremendous shot after all that. But look, Claire, can you tell me, what are your key takeaways in Scotland? For us, I quite like fish and chips. What do you have for
I think
takeaways?
curry in Scotland's always good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, obviously we're at the home of golf in St Andrews, so hopefully we can pop down for a nice local curry. But yeah, I think while we're summarizing the local takeaways, you're probably going to have to read what's on the screen all by yourselves at home. But all in all, he took the right option.
So it looks like his ball's in a bit of a dodgy lie here, and maybe he can't quite identify it. But if he can't, he's entitled to lift it to identify it, but he must mark before he lifts it, and he must not clean any more than he needs to be able to identify it.
Well, it looks to me like that tree is really snaffling George up here. He's in a lot of trouble again.
Yeah, well, we saw George could quite easily stand at the ball without moving the branch at all, so he just can't go backing into the branch like that.
Whoa, Clear, hold the phone. What on earth are those scissors? And now, oh dear, those look like shears as well. Okay, so now he's gonna put. That is not in his 14 club selection. That is. Is that a chainsaw?
Well, he certainly can't be doing that. He just can't go breaking anything if it improves the area where the ball lies or the area where he's going to swing or stand.
Well, before we cut down too many more trees, we're going to have to cut to Connor on course for some help. Please help us, Connor.
Well, it can be rough when you're out on the golf course, but one of the key principles is to play the ball as it lies and play the course as you find it. And sometimes this might mean you're in a position that just isn't very nice, but that's tough. So one thing you're not allowed to do, as you can see here, my ball's sitting down in the rough, it's not in a good lie, but I'm not allowed to move, bend or break anything. So I'm not allowed to move the grass out the way to make it easier to get into the back of the ball and make my shot. I'm not allowed to break anything. I can't rip the grass, again, because that's going to improve the lie of the ball or the area of my intended swing. Likewise, if I've got some branches that are in the way, that's just tough. I can't break them. I've just got to try and negotiate and make my way around the course without them getting in my way. The other thing I'm not allowed to do is I'm not allowed to remove sand or loose soil anywhere on the course except the putting green. So again, I've got a big clump of sand here behind my ball, and I have to leave that. I have to play that ball as it lies, and I'm not allowed to get this sand out the way. When it comes to playing the ball, you are allowed to lightly ground the club, so you can touch the grass here. That's okay, but you're not allowed to press down, to press down the sand, the soil, or the grass, because again, that could improve the lie of the ball or the area of swing there. So as you can see, you can get some bad luck on a golf course with these two balls as an example. But thankfully, I'm not having to play these shots, so back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Connor, on course, and yes, we'll ensure you just stick to those rules out there, young man, as George puts his chainsaw away. I think he just kissed it as well, and matches on. But one clear takeaway for me, clear and clarity and clear. One key takeaway for me is to not use a chainsaw on the golf course. That is barbaric.
Well, I would definitely agree with that one.
As Victoria Watts taps in for par after what has been a very, very good day out, the stage is now clear for George Harper Jr., who by the looks of this is taking things far too seriously for a player of his ability, or should I say, lack thereof.
Well, John, he's been taking far too much time all day, but it's certainly nice to see him enjoying the occasion.
To finish with a round of 102, which included 0 birdies, 15 penalty areas, 10 wrong rulings, and a serious amount of wasted time. Looks good.
Ooh.
Looks good.
Whoa, what a putt!
good.
What a putt! I can't believe it!
What a moment. What an occasion for the young New Zealander. As you can see, oh yes, he is soaking it up clear. He is really embracing that putt. Oh, the slow-mo replay shows it all. Look at the face. This is when he knew it. Look at the surprise. We're all surprised for him. Oh wow, full emotion, full glory, as the night sky slowly comes down on Scotland. Ho-ho! Clear as George Harper Jr. starts to shed a few tears. Thank you so much for joining us. And please, how should people stay in touch with not only the game but the rules of golf from here?
Well, thanks, John. It's been great to be here in the studio with you today. I'd recommend all golfers download the R&A Rules of Golf app, and why not register for the Rules Academy on the R&A website to learn even more.
Ladies and gentlemen, from us here at the Duke's Golf Course, St Andrews in Bonnie, Scotland, it's goodbye for now.